This video is equipped with closed captions. You come down here to where it says CC, Subtitles and Closed Captions, click it, and then you'll see a subtitle that will appear on your screen. Next, change the language of that by going to Subtitles, Auto Translate, and pick a language that you would like to see. Let's go to French. Now, subtitles are going from English to French. You can see the subtitle no longer has English words, it has French words. So pick your language and go. Then you can watch the video with the subtitles in your preferred language. I use lots of browsers. I use Mozilla Firefox because it matches the way I search. I use Internet Explorer because it gives me better control of my printouts. And I use Google Chrome anytime I'm dealing with a foreign language. The reason that I like Google Chrome is it offers up translations. If I'm working in something that takes me to a foreign language, you get to translate this. Translate or no? Well, I think I better because I can't read this. Everything is now in English, my first language. Because it knows English is my first language because that's my display setting. If I go to an English site, I don't get that little icon. If I go to a foreign site, I will get that. Show original and translate. So you can see this makes language work very easy. You won't get the Google Translate on English pages if your display language is in English. If English is not your first language, I'm going to show you how to change the settings so that you can pick your primary language. We went to Settings, and we're going to show Advanced Settings and go down 4 more. You have Change Now, box, and a check. Kind of need to know what that looks like when you're working in foreign languages. We're going to add a language. We're going to add German. And we're going to change that to our display language. We're going to say done. We have to close our browser and open it up again. And now our menu is in a different language. We're going to go back to where settings are. And I've got to do the advanced settings. And the fourth one down, where is it? Sprachen. That must be language. And we are going to offer to translate that. Close. And now when we go to vrcc.info, do we want to translate that? Well, we know this is no, so this must be translate. Oh! And our language has changed. We can go back to the original language. And that's how that works in a foreign language. Feel free to do this in the lab. Our computers are re-imaged every every session. So if English is not your first language, go ahead and change it. Also, let me switch this back to English for a moment. Where is it? Sprocket. And here we are back in English, hopefully. Yes, good old English. You might want to change your language. You may want to add more languages. If you correspond in that other English language, language United Kingdom, you might want to not use this language for a spell check. You might want to add the other English and say okay. And you might want to use this one for spelling, so things spell the way the Brits do instead of the way we do. Color. And what's wrong with color? Well, I didn't spell it with the U. Color. British color. So if you're doing correspondence in Italian, Polish, French, you might want to just change the language so that your spell check gives you the spelling in the way that you want it. And again, feel free to do that in the lab. We reimage. Another tool that's helpful with languages is Google Translate. Again, I'm still in Chrome, and notice that you can also search by voice. This is something that you won't see in the other browsers. But going on with their language, we want to go to Google Translate, or you can enter translategoogle.com, and then you say something like hello world, and it's instantly editing, and it went there's German, there's Spanish, there's other languages are here. You could make it Dutch, you could make it French. So yes, you can change the language and translate it. You get up to 5,000 characters at a time, and that's how you translate it. When I translate, I use a little bit different process. I would open a new window. Alright, first I'm going to copy this, go to New Tab, do another Google Translate, and I'm going to paste this here. Oh, okay. And that's what it said in English. I always want to make sure that this means something similar to what I was saying in my first window. Sometimes it will take on a whole different meaning, and then I'll go back to my first window and change things. I usually do that in a side-by-side. I'm going to show you that in a minute. When I use Google Translate, I typically have my windows open side by side. My screen looks like this. I enter text in the first box. I pick my language. I hit the translate button. I take the results. I copy them to the clipboard. I go over to my other window. I paste the text there. The auto detect will tell me what language I'm using. I go up, and for my translation, I translate back into English, and then I hit translate, and then I compare the final result with what I started with. Does it mean something similar, or does it mean something totally different? If it's not what I intended, I use different phrasing in the first box and repeat the process until I've got something that means something similar in my last box. Then I will use it in my correspondence, my web post, my document. It's very helpful. So that's my process, and I would recommend it for anybody that's talking to people in a language that they don't understand. When I told you earlier that Chrome automatically offers to translate languages, it doesn't always show that little icon up here. If the item is a PDF, it's not going to offer to translate that. But there's a way to do that. What you do is you start by downloading the file, which I've already done. And then you go to Google Translate. You come into Google Translate. You go to Translate Document. You choose a file. Pick the item you just downloaded. Say Open. Then pick up the language that you want to change it to, any of these, but let's change it to French. And we're going to hit Translate. And there is the document in French. Oh, and there's the Google Translate icon that's going to offer to translate this back into English. I'm going to not do that right now. So, if you have mobile devices, Google Play or the iTunes Store will offer Google Translate as an app, and it's a great app to have. It lets you converse hands-free. It lets you translate offline. And it lets you use your camera to instantly change signs or written documents into text. Even handwritten documents. Did you know you can also learn a language on the internet? There's this site called Duolingo that offers you the chance to learn a language for free. What you do is you pick your primary language up here, and you pick the language that you want to learn down there, and they offer you nice lessons. Duolingo also offers an app for both iPhone and Android. It was Apple's iPhone App of the Year.